right? Like, you don't have to go to L.A. and have DJ Am say, you're my heir apparent, put you on stage in front of a lot of eyeballs, and then you rock it, and then, like, he won. Because that's how it was played before, right? You'd go to L.A., you'd wait some tables, an agent that had powers, like, you're going to be a star, and basically, if you had star power, you became a star. Because they controlled the story. They were the gatekeepers, they were the storytellers.
Big John can't see.
Oh, Big John, sorry, buddy. So now, but you know what's so funny? With Walter Cronkite passing, it's really epic for me. I've said it a couple times on Ustream. Some of you might have heard this comment from me. And now that he's passed, it makes me seem more of a jerk. But I always say, you know, Walter Cronkite doesn't impress me. I mean, of course he does. He was a great dude, and, you know, everybody knows his talents. But push comes to shove, he had to beat out two other people. The dude that was on Channel 4 and the dude that was on Channel 7. Now, you want to be the best in whatever you do, you have to beat every other person on earth. There's been 1,500 wine shows since I launched Wine Library TV. I've had to hold off all those suckers. You know, that's what I'm talking about. The fact that the cost is so zero to get involved, except sweat equity, your time, which is valuable. But the fact that you can build a business with very little money, that's a game changer. You couldn't compete against, I mean, Perez Hilton is more powerful than People magazine. That's freaking crazy. You know, the Huffington Post is a lot more powerful than the far majority of papers that have put billions of economic impact in the last 100 years in play, right? Yep. I mean, it's happening in every niche. You know, and even silly companies like AOL come up with, you know, Asylum, and now it's more important than GQ and Men's Health. So to me, that's powerful. And that means anything's, I mean, it's really an anything possible game. When everybody would say anything's possible, it's taken this to a whole nother level. This social web, the web we live in now, the web that didn't look anything like it does today 5 years ago, and it's going to look even more different in 5 years from now, that web, that's a life changer for people. That's why I wrote Crush It. That's what I'm writing about. That if you're not happy all the way, if you don't love what you do 1,000,000,000%, you've got to try to work in it somehow. An hour after work, start slow. And that's the other thing. I'm not Tim Ferriss. I'm no 4-hour work week. 99% of the book talks about hard work and marathon running. Nothing.
That's funny, because I was just going to ask you what you thought of Tim Ferriss.
Well, Tim's a really good friend of mine. And Tim's book doesn't say 4 hours, da-da-da. You know, but I honestly think that hard work is massively underrated. That I think that we live in a society of sprinters, and the only way to build a big business is to run a marathon. I believe that cold. No business is built overnight. Mark Zuckerberg was coding at 9. You know, even the stuff you think happened in 2 minutes. Kevin Rose launched 17 businesses before Dig popped, right? Everybody says to me, oh, you're so lucky. One of my high school friends emailed me like, Gary, what the hell? I can't believe how much you've blown up. You're so lucky. I'm like, dude, I'm not lucky. You went to parties and keggers and fishing every weekend when my ass was downstairs working 15 hours a day. Every day since sophomore year of high school. So I don't feel like I made it overnight. I've been working pretty much nonstop since I was 15. Reading about wine, learning the wine business, building that business, which gave me the platform to build Wine Library TV, which then gave me the platform for VaynerMedia. I mean, it's all hard work. Not to mention all the insane work my dad put in to give me the opportunity to be in. I mean, so this is not like, you don't just, I think people build businesses over 17, 20, 25 years. And everybody's trying to build a business in 20 minutes. See, they think getting a Twitter account gives them a shot to make $1 million in a year. And that's the problem. And that's the game. Because that's the media that's been pushed in our head, right? How to lose weight in 30 minutes. You know, how to you know, buy a house with 7 quick moves. I mean, that shit is not real. Here's what's real. Find something you love, because you have to work so hard that if you don't love it, you'll quit and lose.
Like your 10,000 hours in Outliers. Did you read that? Outliers? You need 10,000 hours to become a true expert in something.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, you know, I'm sure it's somewhere. I mean, I'm sure that's not it, right? I mean, I'm sure it's somewhere in between that, or somewhere, or maybe that is it. Maybe you figured it out. Here's what I know: lots of work. That's the only way, you know. And storytelling. I'm obsessed with storytelling. It's probably going to be the next book I write. I think I'm going to call it bedtime stories. I think the brands that win know how to tell their story.
That makes it memorable.
You feel it. Like when I say Apple, people feel something. And when you say other brands, people don't. And that's the difference between an Apple and what Nike does, what Oprah does. What's that feeling you get in your stomach? What's the first, what's that move? In comparison, to Lacoste, you just didn't feel the same, as I mentioned the other stuff. That's the game. And the fact that you can use this stuff to do that, that's the biggest difference.
Well, it's like what you did tonight. You gave us all an experience
Yeah,
that we'll take away.
Yeah, I mean, it's all hustle, right? I mean, I flew from Vegas this morning, and I drove to Jersey. It just, it's for me, what's most important is the starting point. What do you want? What do you want to accomplish? There's a lot of people that don't have my ambition or want to put in that work. And you know what? They're right for them. I wish I could fish once in a while. That'd be probably smart and good for me, healthy. Some people have better balances. You just got to scratch your own itch. And I think way too many people have no feel whatsoever for what they want to accomplish. They just do. They don't truly set out and say that. And when they do, it's so much more achievable. Because people always ask me, well, why did you do this? It's all a blur to one thing. Everything has to be big. Why did I sign this book deal and not a book deal that almost paid me the same exact advance for just one book? Because for the branding of it, I wanted to have $1 million book deal. Because that would give me the next move. So, though it's not as awesome for my pocket and not as easy, the story of me signing $1 million book deal in the Wall Street Journal felt like that was more valuable to me going forward long term because I wanted to buy the Jets. If I just wanted $700,000, well then good, I could have signed the one deal and it would have been done. I just think that people need to really wrap their head about what they want. I had this talk with a good friend of mine 2 years ago, a coder, and he said he wanted a beach house in Jamaica and he wanted to lay on it and smoke weed and do nothing else. And guess what? That's exactly what he's doing now. Because what happened was, we had this talk late night wine, 4 in the morning. He built a couple spammy kind of sites that made a lot of AdSense money and rev ad money. Made money, bought the place, moved. That's what he's doing. I just think that people need to really, not everybody needs to buy the Jets. Not everybody needs 40 houses and a $60,000 watch. What do you want? I'm sad for myself that I want the Jets because the money part is not interesting to me. The climb, the game is what's interesting to me. The problem is I've set myself up for so much need for money that, but I hate money. I like competition, and I like the climb. I used to be a huge Yankees fan. Then they won the World Series in '96. Charlie Hayes caught that ball, and I was out. I haven't watched them since. So for me, it's about the climb. So I think it's important for people to understand themselves first. And when they get there, they can get all the way to the end.
Are you going to have a Gary Vaynerchuk pillowcase when that second book
Bedtime
comes
stories,
out?
I like that. I like where your head is at. I like that. You know what I would really like, because we're going to have to leave soon? I'd love for you guys to get to know each other better. I mean, to me, it's great, and I appreciate you guys.